Hi everyone, this is Zach with MTG PokeHero, and today we're going to be talking about how to play Magic the Gathering on the cheap. So, I know that everybody's priorities are different. I'm a dad, and I know I don't have all the money to be able to spend on Magic the Gathering. So, I've come up with a way that usually kind of helps to be able to get me through a full standard season with limited buying. So I kind of just want to go over that for a lot of you new players. Maybe some of the old players, this might be, you guys might see this and everything like that, but usually if you're a pro and everything like that, you guys can trade decks pretty quickly, faster than some of us regular Joes, and that's okay. So what I like to do is basically, when the standard season starts, I look at the cards that will stay in before rotation. So right now, the main sets I focused on was Kaladesh, Aether Revolt, Amonkhet, and Hour Dissolution. Sorry, I had a brain fart right there. So I primarily looked at the cards for those, and that's where I decided to build my deck around. That's kind of where I suggest people start off with. The other deal, too, is if you kind of don't have an idea where to start from, you can look at some of these decks over here on MTG Top 8. It's really great. It's a ton of information for people. You can literally look at every single deck that is placed or does really well. You get statistics, what cards are being played and what. It's really cool. I definitely suggest this for you when you guys start doing deck building. So let's say, I'm new, I want to start out, I want to see what's doing good. So it also has a list of major events and what decks place what. So let's look at Nationals France. Okay, so in Nationals France, I see that consistently 5 out of the top 8 decks are red deck wins. That gives me a pretty good hint that that's a pretty good deck. Even though the main deck that won was Boros Aggro. Shows that the red deck wins had a higher chance, placing a topping to be able to get price support and stuff like that. So let's say I want to build Yanni Lee Tio's, I probably butchered your name, buddy, and I am so sorry. Red deck wins. So the first thing you want to do is you just want to go and look at the cards. Obviously, definitely when you are going through here, click, and it actually brings up all the price tags and everything like that right here at Card Kingdom and TCG Player, even Card Hoarder. It even tells you how many tickets it is, which is really cool. So let's see. So what I can tell from here is it's a lot of inexpensive lands, which is really nice for mana base. Now we go on ahead and we look at our creatures. We've got a couple dollar cards for sure. A couple $3 cards, that's okay. Not too bad. Our most expensive card is going to be Hazoret the Fervent, which is okay. We know she is good for what she does. A couple more dollar cards, and then you just want to go through and just keep looking and keep looking. So, as I mentioned earlier, red deck wins is usually a cheap deck, but for Chandra Torch of Defiance, it kicks the price up $160. So realistically, this should be a $123 deck. So obviously, we'll probably replace some Chandras and everything like that. And as we look through, I noticed that Falconwrath Gorgers are going to rotate out of standard because they were in, I almost called it out and restored, but that's not it. Basically, they're going to rotate due to being out of the Innistrad block. But all in all, most of the cards are going to stay in. That's great. And I mean, Incinerate Flow also gets rotated out, but all in all, most of the cards stay. So we've got a really good deck to build off from, and we also have a price point of cards that we know what they should be at, and we know of a couple cards to where we can maybe make some changes, or we can even save up for later on. So how do I build the deck? Well, you can even click on here to go to TCG Player, and it'll bring up the Chandra, and then if you go back on there, I'm 98% sure it should still bring up the whole entire deck for you. Yeah. See, it'll bring up the whole entire deck list, which is really cool. So you can order it directly off there if you have it, but you can also take off cards as you need and everything like that. So we have our starting point, and technically we could build this deck for about $120. We just got to make a couple adjustments, but we also need it taking the fact that the Incinerate Flows, Collective Defiance, and the Falconwrath Gorger aren't going to be in the deck anymore. That's about it. Yeah, everything else pretty much stays. So, how do we keep maintaining standard? So basically, after you buy the cards and everything like that, you can play the deck for the whole entire time that it is in standard, which is pretty nice. And we go on ahead and we can get rid of Chandra, which is okay, although she's a really good card. And it's also something for you guys to be able to save up for. Put a couple bucks here and there if you really want those Chandras. Do a couple of it, and you can actually put it into a budget where you can end up coming up with those Chandras before the tournament that you want to do or anything like that. So what I like to do though is, these cards are just an idea. You want to shop around. Usually, Card Kingdom will be having some different stuff. TCG Player, which I don't know why it was. I already had it up. Star City Games has a lot of different stuff and cool stuff. You just have to find what site works for you. And the other deal too is if you guys played an old card game, just take all the stuff that you had, and you'll see these down here at the bottom. I really like Cool Stuff Inc. I've been doing stuff with them for as long as I can remember, and they have buy lists, so you can just go, and it doesn't matter what card game it is. You can just go through and see if you've got anything. And the other deal too that happens is you want to find a store that has some store credit. Now, usually I think Cool Stuff, they do a pretty good job. They do a 25% bonus on when you trade in singles for store credit, which is great. The other deal too is I've been with them for so long that they give you an additional bonus for you buying stuff from them. So I know that my account level is actually right here. You used to be able to click on this, and I get 12% off on Mint. So you can actually click here, and it has a level. It's really cool. They do something that is awesome. So let's say I sell a bunch of stuff to Cool Stuff Inc. Okay, then I want to go buy some stuff. They will count the stuff that I use for my store credit towards my player level. So the reason why I got up so high here, I'm like one away from the highest one, I'm going to get there, is because I would literally trade in the stuff that I would get from Cool Stuff Inc. And I turn around and I buy it, and then they still count it towards your overall amount that you spent from them. So that's just one thing that's really cool and everything like that, and I really enjoy it. So what I suggest for people is look at the first two blocks, so Kaladesh and Amonkhet. Pick something out of there that you like, and just start going ahead and messing around with it. It's really easy, and then go through, you do research, go on to MTG Top 8, look at different decks that are going there. The other deal too is, we have the Magic the Gathering on YouTube. Go watch the guys play. You can sit there and you can watch Standard and see how they do. Watch Star City Games. Those guys are up almost like every other week. They seem to be kind of taking a hiatus, but I don't remember if I've been checking them as much here lately. But all in all, it's really great. And you guys can basically play Standard for a whole entire rotation period. Then, right before rotation period, okay, what you do is about a month to two before the set that causes rotation hits. That's when you usually want to trade in your cards into one of these websites up here. Being able to do that, the cards are still in Standard. They're still needed. Usually I say about 2 to 3 months, but once you start seeing spoilers for like the next set is when you really want to start giving up, because people still want these cards, but the next set's not here, so they still need them, which is really nice. And then at that point, then you're able to start building up stock, and the cards are worth more than what they would be if you do it like a week or two right before everything comes out, and then the cards are no longer in Standard. So that's just a couple hints and tricks that I've kind of noticed, everything like that, and then you'll be able to play Standard for a while. Now, I'm not saying, the other deal too is you want to buy the singles, and I know that the singles, the amount that they cost seems like a lot, but let's imagine you try to get your 4 Chandra Torches of Defiance. Okay, Okay, you want 4 of her. Okay, all the packs that you buy, I mean, even if you bought a box, which is like $100, doesn't really mean that you're going to get, 1 Chandra, let alone 4. So like a box is usually around $100, depending. So for 20 extra bucks, you could have just bought your 4 Chandra Torch of Defiance. But you do get probably most of the cards that you wanted for that. So, I mean, there's ups and downs to buying boxes and packs and everything like that. But for overall, just to be able to save your money, buying the singles outright is the best. I'm not saying don't buy packs, because sometimes you can turn around and you may pull something that's worth a lot, especially with like the masterpieces and everything like that in there. I've built complete standard decks just out of the expeditions when Battle of Zendikar was out, because I got really lucky. But all in all, I mean, you just have to find out. And the other deal too that I will suggest is, you may not want to play Ramanat Red. You may want to play Control, and that's okay. Just know, like the same thing with our Chandra Torch of Defiance, Torrential Gearhulks are usually about 20 bucks. Let's see. Let's check out Gabriel's misuse list. Let's see how much they have it. Okay, it's about 17 bucks. So about $64 to buy 4 copies of Torrential Gearhulk, which isn't bad, but some people may not have, the whole entire $64 to pay for it. Save up, guys. Put money aside. And the other deal too is, find something else that could work. You may not be playing Torrential Gearhulk, but instead you may play the God for 3, which is still a pretty good deal. He just doesn't have all the same effects as Gearhulk, but he's a little bit harder to deal with at times. So you may be giving up one thing, but gaining another ability in the process. So I just wanted to take a minute to talk to you guys a little bit about it. Just remember, you want to look at the first 2 sets that stay during rotation. You usually want to go ahead, you want to shop around and look at everything. You want to find somebody who can really work with you on being able to get store credits, so that way you can get more cards for cheaper. And the other deal too is, just realize that you guys can put different cards to be able to settle up for more expensive cards. It's just you gain a different ability, and it's okay. Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, comments about trying to figure out where to go and stuff like that, go on ahead and leave a comment down. If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. We're still trying to grow the channel, a lot more people. But all in all, may the top decks be forever in your favor. Thanks, and have a good night.